The state's evidence would indicate that beginning July 9th of 2022, Mr. Koberger's phone began connecting to a cell tower that serves the area of the 1122 King Road residence in Moscow, Idaho. Now, I will acknowledge for the court and all present that there are many residences in that area. It is a dense population of mostly college-related occupants. It is a dense population of mostly college-related occupants. It is a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Johnny went down into hell one night, he was hunting for the devil's throne. He'd beat around his name too long, figured he'd claim his own. The flames were licking the cavern walls, the air was thick with sin. But he grinned and tuned his fiddle tight, said, devil, let's begin. He laughed and said, you're foolish, son, you'll burn before you win. But he rousing up that bow and said, we'll see who melts in sin. I ain't afraid of fire or brimstone, you can damn me if I lose, but I'm the best that's ever lived, old boy, so go on, light that fuse. Johnny was a hillbilly redneck, meaner than a dog on meth. He said, I beat every fiddle of breathing, ain't none left on earth worth a test. So he loaded up his moonshine and he swore one drunken yell, if the devil's still picking, I'll find his ass, I'm heading straight to hell. And Johnny went down to hell, he wasn't running scared, said, I came to take your fiddle, boy, if you still got one spare. The devil grinned and said, hot damn, I've waited for this day, but I ain't playing country tunes down here, we melt the strings away. The gates swung wide, the brimstone popped, and demons poured like beer. The devil stood there smiling with a gobo slick and clear. Boy, you talk big for a mortal man, but my fire's burned for years. Johnny spit and grinned, I'll smoke your ass and drink your flaming tears. Johnny went down to hell, he wasn't running scared, said, I came to take your fiddle, boy, if you still got one spare. The devil grinned and said, hot damn, I waited for this day, but I ain't playing country tunes down here, we melt the strings away. The devil drew his bow across, the pit began to roar. The walls of hell were shaking like a diesel engine's core. But Johnny's fire was meaner still, and that fiddle screamed pure sin. He bent the notes till angels cried and the devil's flame grew thin. Smoke rolled up from Johnny's strings, ashes on his boots. He said, hell's just another honky-tonk and I'm the king of roots. The devil dropped that golden bow and kicked it through the flame. Johnny took it, tipped his hat, said, now you know my name. Johnny went down to hell, and he played that fire clean. Left the devil staring, dumbstruck in the glow of gasoline. He said, keep your crown and kingdom, I just came to raise some hell. You'll hear my fiddle ringing from the hollers down in hell.
Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for
and eternal pain. Here we go. Welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
What is going on, Hive? I hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday night. Let me double check the audio. I just want to apologize. Firstly, right off the jump, I did not want to start this stream late by any means. But this is going to be it's going to be a good one, and it's a very important one. Some people may know what I am about to talk about tonight when it comes to Molly's game, being the DoorDash driver, the infamous DoorDash driver that has quite a suspect past that's given ultimate credibility. That seems to also be a theme, I guess, in the Idaho 4 case, being Dylan. Everybody that shouldn't have credibility by any means gets the utmost credibility in the narrative. And I'm going to be diving into that tonight. I want to say what's up to everybody right out of the gate, because once I start going through this, I really want to, and also, quite frankly, I have to focus so that you guys can see all the visuals and you guys can, how do I say it? Just you're picking up what I'm putting down. And before I start this entire presentation, I got to give a huge shout out to Sleuther Dare and Luna Bliss. This is the power of the Hive. What you guys are going to see tonight is the collective working together to come up with a theory that, again, not many people have ever heard or thought of when it comes to Molly. You're going to be shocked. I was shocked. I could not believe that this connection, if it is known, is not way more of this obvious like clue. I don't know how else to say it. This is huge. It's huge. And I do not understand how we have not theorized on this aspect of it. So let me go ahead and say what's up to everybody. If you have not hit the like button, please go ahead and do so. I will put this full screen as always. You can screenshot this, and then after the live concludes, all you got to do is tap that QR code. That will take you to the Hive's Discord, my TikTok, Hive Mind merch store, and also the Spotify playlist for all of the intro songs. Now, let's go ahead and, again, say what's up to everybody. We got Ava, Indy, Davina, Madura, Firefly, Wise Lady, Young Mind, Germilla, good to see you, UFO Dog, Brad Harris, Sleuther Dare. Again, shout out to Sleuther Dare. Very impressive work. Carolina Bravo, Beautiful Disaster, Mom Fluff, Future Ghost, Michelle Vibe Happy, Jeep Overlanders, Exploring Everything, 777, Cindy, Lisa, Beautiful Disaster, Mermaid Claire, 69. Did you change, is that a new username? Sarah, Bridget, Bleacher Mom Who Yells, 11. That's a dope username. I love that. That's enough of that. Okay. Mommy Milker, 69. Alondra, Hibiscus Girl, Nebula, Tupelo Honey, Baby Girl, Down the Rabbit Hole to Hell, Gabby Girl, great to see you, Discord Dawn, Sue from South Africa, Mary Tyler, Profit Factor 0411 says, yo, Birdie, first time on the live. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Type of 1 and be honest if this is your first time tuning in. Because if it is, we would love to welcome you with open arms. And that leads me into the disclaimer, which is this is a contrarian thinking live stream. We think past the headlines. We question the narrative. We're not afraid to ask the hard questions. If you're easily rattled or offended on behalf of others, you're not going to like this stream. You're going to hate me. You're not going to like the chat. However, I got the best mods on YouTube, being UFO Dog, Luna Bliss, Discord Dawn, formerly known as Beck. They will give you enough leash to hang yourself. We want to have a discussion in this chat. We want to find the truth, and the only way to do so is to not get rattled and offended by a comment. You got to process it and think to yourself, why does this person think that? Are they trolling? Are they spamming? Or is there something that's, I guess, out there that makes them think that way? And Johnny All Red 2718, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. That is epic. As a reminder, any super chat over $4.99 will pop up right here. I will do my best to address them immediately. We got Lala1-I6W says, thanks, Birdie, for keeping our minds open to the Idaho 4. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. I got to take a breath. I'm a little bit flustered rushing around getting the slides ready. So if I seem like I'm a little bit like, oh my God, I'm in a rush, I got to get going, I'm going to calm myself down because, again, tonight is very important. Okay. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for hitting the like button. I hope that tonight's stream will spark a ton of theories. It really should, because when I was talking to Luna today, my jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe that while, yes, maybe there's been rumors of this, there's an entire theory that could sprout what we're going to show tonight. And I'm looking over to my left because the comments on my PC, they're a little bit delayed. So if you see me glancing over here, that's why. Anyways, we are going to get into the Discord question of the day. Sleuther Dare, that's very fitting. And Sleuther Dare brings up a phenomenal point, which is, based on Payne's statements, the FBI is not able to use 23andMe or Ancestry for privacy reasons. How did they build a family tree if there was no family tree to build it from? Per Washington State Police Lab, a YSTR profile is not unique and cannot identify a single individual. 23andMe also states it prohibits sharing customers' DNA with third parties without their explicit consent. Now, this is a screenshot from Mr. Brett Payne here. I got this from Reddit. I thought that was hilarious. And it says, my understanding is that the FBI concluded Brian Koberger was a possible source of DNA that we should look into. They did not, to my knowledge, at any point say Brian Koberger's DNA is on the knife sheath. That was never conveyed to me. Okay, that might be mind-blowing to people. It should be. It really should be. I mean, Jesus. My understanding, I'm going to read this again, is that the FBI concluded Brian Koberger was a possible source of DNA that we should look into. They did not, to my knowledge, at any point say that Brian Koberger's DNA is on the knife sheath. That was never conveyed to me. What? So it just makes this entire case so much more sus than it already is. It's disappointing, to say the least. Cindy Martini 1299 says, why haven't we heard anything from Koberger's father? He's remained silent. Now, I remember rumors of Koberger's dad bumping into somebody in like a Walgreens or a 7-Eleven or some sort of convenience store, saying that if you knew the truth, it would shock you. Does anybody else remember that? I feel like that was something that came out rather early. And again, it's a rumor, but there's a lot of rumors that make way more sense than the little snippet of an official document that I just read. Koberger's DNA is not on the knife sheath. Unbelievable. It was a CVS. Yes, thank you, UFO dog. All right. Now, going into the theme, Molly's game. Does anybody, and Sluther Dare and Luna and the mods, you're not allowed to play in this game or answer the question. What do people think that I mean by Molly's game? I'm always curious. Whenever I do the themes, what do people think I'm about to talk about tonight? And I'm going to put them up on the screen. Poker, that is a phenomenal movie. If you have not watched the movie Molly's Game, I would highly recommend it. UFO Dog says, we never get to do anything. Nebula 1111 says, Molly's a convict for hire. Mermaid Claire says that she wasn't a DoorDash. She was doing a drug drop. XO, I'm Ghost 530 says her using Bill as a get out of jail free card. Radine, hopefully I said that right, says she's a snitch. Exploring Everything says meth dash. UK Cheese Farmer Side Piece says MDMA. Michelle Vibes Happy says beating charges. Danger Zone says useful idiot of sorts. Dickie Bird 6865 says what she can gain by telling the story correctly for consideration. Ariella says her boyfriend. Philly Girl says Molly brought the sheath to the crime scene. Chocolate Tay says she definitely saw something. Kaylin says, or Kalina Ray says Molly's BS story. Batshit crazy drug dasher. I don't disagree with the majority of those. But again, tonight, I think you guys are going to be mind blown with the connection that was found. So let's get into it, shall we? I'm going to move. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a different view. Where were Ethan and Xana? Is there anybody that believes? See, you know what? Let me back up before I say this. Is it unreasonable, given the fact that we know the exact whereabouts of Maddie and Kaylee, but nothing on Xana and Ethan? Where were they? Right? Where were they? Why are they not mentioned? It's very broad, to say the least, right? Oh, they were at a Sigma Chi party. And then they ordered Jack in the Box. How is it that of 6 people in the house, 4 of which were murdered, There's only two. There's only two that we know and see where they are throughout the night. That is a legitimate question. Kaylee and Maddie are the only two that we see on camera that we can validate. Here is where they were. We can hear their voices. We can speculate on what they've said, but everybody else, being Dylan and Bethany, we just take their word for it, and Ethan and Xana, nothing. Nothing at all. Creepily Goth says that could mean they were the targets. Fiji, that's a great comment and take, says, look here, not there. BB's 87 says, just wanted to say thanks for all you do, Birdie. Well, thank you for the super chat, BB's. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody that does feel kind enough to donate. Obviously, I've said this a million times. I'm not doing this for clicks, for views, for money. I'm doing this because there's something inside of my brain that when I see something like this, I cannot let it go. I tend to obsess about it. I think about every direction that this could have gone in. And apparently there's a lot of people that think like I do. And I'm grateful to have found my people in the Hive. So we're going to get to the bottom of this. I know we will. By asking questions, by thinking outside the box. Brandon, good to see you, says, were they killed purposely or just in a fight? Grandma Grizz says they made her give a false testimony. I'm assuming you are referring to Dylan. Let's see. Thrive Off Grid says that Molly's son is friends with Emma, referring to Emma Bailey, daughter of Jesse James Bailey. That's the whole Aryan Knight angle, the Aryan Brotherhood angle. Wendy Smith says false flag. I don't want to laugh, but it's just the narrative. This goes back to like Sammy T popping up last night as Nancy Grace, right? People were like, not everybody, there was like two, but they said, this is a very serious matter. And while yes, the crime and the truth is serious, what's not serious is the clown punchers on the news that run with the narrative and they poison people's brains with nothing but talking points. And so to Law Chick 79's point, next they will tell us that Epstein did it with Brian Koberger being the mastermind. I don't even think that that's a stretch. Right? They've already said that Koberger sat down and he rested, and that's why there's a smear of blood in the chair of Xana's room, right? Sat down, probably ate the DoorDash. And I'm not even joking. It's just their timeline is ridiculous. Bridget says, I still think that the college is covering up something. Gurmilla says the only DNA found at the scene was on a banana peel. All right, let's get serious now. All right. Not that we haven't been, but this is where I would say the presentation, again, shout out to Sluther Dare and Luna Bliss. Luna said to give all of the credit to Sluther Dare. So I will do so. And Sleuth has been in the Hive for a very long time. So thank you for this, because I think this is incredible work. I'm going to start with this. And as I go through these slides, there's going to be a story that's told. That story that's told, given one connection that most people have not heard of, could make you absolutely look at the Idaho 4 in a different light with the official narrative. Okay? With the 4 a.m. timeline, what I go through tonight could make you look at the official timeline completely differently. All right. So here we go. Let me go ahead and get this full screen. This is obviously Dylan Mortensen. These are two clips that I spliced together, but I want everybody to hear them. And I will go ahead and play it now.
Hey guys, we get home, no one is home, so we go upstairs. The house is kind of a mess, obviously, because we just had that party Friday. Saturday we were drinking, whatever.
What time is it so you go home?
Oh, let me check again. I don't know if I flipped a photo.
What do you call the freshmen that stay sober?
Sobros.
Sobros.
Yeah. So it was definitely after 1, because I have a video of dancing at 1. So I guess at first I thought it was 1, but it could have been 1:30. I don't know. I was intoxicated. I don't fully remember. I'm going to say around 1:15 to 1:30ish. That could be wrong.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess that was at 3:10. I thought it was earlier. I didn't know that.
Before we go further, you said when you got home with, you said no one was home.
No one was home.
You even went upstairs.
No, I never went upstairs.
Oh.
But because Kaylee and Maddie came home later, that's how I knew they were not there that time.
So what about Ethan and Savannah?
Their door was open. I could see that. I could tell they were not home.
Their door was open at that point.
Yes, sorry, I can't fully remember. I don't know for sure if their door was open or not, but I believe they were not there. I mean, maybe they were, but I just, at that moment, I believe they were not.
Okay.
Okay. When you listen back to that, I understand what Dylan ends up saying. But again, it's like, is Dylan credible? I'm going to play that one more time because I want people to listen to the time frame. Okay? This is all the same interview. It's just two parts of that interview spliced together. Okay? So that we didn't have to listen to the entire thing. But listen to the times.
Hey guys, we get home, no one is home, so we go upstairs. The house is kind of a mess, obviously, because we just had that party Friday. Saturday we were drinking, whatever.
What time is it so you go home?
Oh, let me check again. I don't know if I flipped a photo.
What do you call the freshmen that stay sober?
Sobros.
Sobros.
Yeah. So it was definitely after 1, because I have a video of dancing at 1. So at first I thought it was 1, but it could have been 1:30. I don't know. I was intoxicated. I don't fully remember. I'm going to say around 1:15 to 1:30ish. That could be wrong.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess that was at 3:10. I thought it was earlier. I didn't know that.
Before we go further, you said when you got home with, you said no one was home.
No one was home.
You even went upstairs.
No, I never went upstairs.
Oh.
But because Kaylee and Maddie came home later, that's how I knew they were not there that time.
So what about Ethan and Savannah?
Their door was open. I could see that. I could tell they were not home.
Their door was open at that point.
Yes, sorry, I can't fully remember. I don't know for sure if their door was
open at that point.
Yes, sorry, I can't fully remember.
Ethan and Savannah.
Their door was open. I could see that. I could tell their door was open. I could see that. I could tell they were not home.
Their door was open at that.
Kind of says like, I could see them. I can't fully remember. And goes right back to what many people have said, in which Dylan's being coached. One's in the chat. Doesn't it sound like she's about to say their door was open? I could see them. I can't remember. I can't fully remember. I hope that the chat floods with ones and that my ears are not just hearing things. This is not manipulated audio. This is not wanting to hear what you want to hear to make up some narrative. I'm saying if I was an investigator and I heard this for the first time, I would be like, that's a little bit weird. That sounds like she's about to say like their door was open. I could see them. Right? Their door was open. I could see them.
Because Kaylee and Maddie came home later, that's how I knew they were not there that time.
So what about Ethan and Savannah?
Their door was open. I could see that. Their door was open. I could see that. Their door was open. I could see that. I could tell
So
they were not home.
their door was
I could see that. What were you going to say? Them, the empty bed? But then, regardless, listen to what she says after. She just stops. She goes right back into coaching mode. And I don't think that this is me even speculating that much. I think this is a pattern with Dylan.
Savannah.
Their door was open. I could see that. I could tell
So
they were not home.
their door was open at that point.
Yes, sorry, I can't fully remember. I don't know for sure if their door was open or not, but I
Their door was open. I could see them. I'm sorry. I can't remember. I don't even know if their door was open or not. What? What? That is literally what she said. Crystal clearly, unenhanced audio. Their door was open. I could tell they were not home. But then why would she say, well, I don't know if their door was open right after? Right? Either way, my point is this. That is not something that is definitive in what she was going to say. She did not finish her sentence, or it was clipped. In my opinion, it's either clipped or she didn't finish her sentence. How do we know? How do we know? So that leads me to this next slide, which is we know that at 2:15, Xana placed a DoorDash order November 13th, 2022, 2:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That did not arrive for approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes. At 3:54, somebody texted the DoorDash driver saying, "Are you having trouble finding it?" You see the Jack in the Box bag that has been blasted all over every news network ever. What's interesting in general, I don't even care anymore if people think this is nuts. I've had DoorDash many times. They usually put the sticker and they roll the bag down and they put the sticker over it. And then you got to tear the sticker to open the bag. Okay, I guess maybe this was rolled down, but it just seems like an odd placement for a DoorDash sticker. Again, I'm not crazy. I've had DoorDash. It seems like that sticker is perfectly torn, and I don't know. You can lose your mind all you want. I don't care. To me, whenever I get DoorDash, every single time, especially after a night out of drinking, I'm destroying that bag. And that sticker, I mean, Jesus. Where's the other half of it? Right? So DM in that interview, in the clip that I was just playing, she's saying like 1 to 1:30, maybe 1:15. We have the DoorDash placed at 2:15. It arrives at 3:59. So this progression that I'm going through is Dylan saying, I don't know where Ethan and Xana were. Xana then places a DoorDash allegedly at 2:15 in the morning. It gets there at 4. At 3:54 a.m., she texts the DoorDash driver, as we all know, saying, "Are you having trouble finding it?" Well, let's bring in Molly. We all know that, and Hive, this is a serious question. I'm not being sarcastic. Was the Molly body cam officially released, or did somebody FOIA request it, which then led to a scramble with the narrative. Because if I remember correctly, didn't somebody FOIA request Molly and also Molly's friend being pulled over? And I don't think that this was ever just like put out there. And it was rather unexpected, if I remember correctly. I want to see, just to test my memory here. Anybody? Yeah. It could have been Lana. Wanda Woman says, I believe so. Sarah, I think it was released on a DUI channel. Now that you say that, that sounds right. It was the same one that had Emma Bailey and her arrest video. Translucent? Lana or Jules? Well, there was the video of her drugged up and arrested. That was painful to watch. The body cam of her being pulled over was leaked. Either way, it was, I mean, I remember this part. It was rather a bombshell when this came out. Like, holy shit, the DoorDash driver is being arrested while she seems to be high off her ass, saying, I saw Brian. I have to testify. Right? I mean, you guys remember when you saw that? That was shocking. That was big time news. That was one of the biggest bombshells in the Idaho 4 case since the case had occurred. So, nonetheless, you guys get my point. This wasn't anything that was slowly distributed officially. It was, wait, what? The DoorDash driver saw Brian and it's Molly? She parked next to Brian, right? So that doesn't really matter. You guys get my point. Molly comes into the picture, right? Dylan says that she doesn't remember if they're home between 1 and 1:30. We have the records of DoorDash at 2:15, getting there just before 4 with a text 6 minutes before 4 o'clock. Molly comes in, says that she sees Brian. Now, one of the questions that I had asked Luna is it possible to be a DoorDash driver with felony charges? Like, can you work as a DoorDash driver if you have X, Y, or Z on your record? What we found out is that it is possible to be a DoorDash driver with felony charges, but it depends on the nature of the crime, how recent it is, and the results of a required background check. Generally, violent felonies, theft, fraud, and drug-related offenses are likely to cause disqualification, while older or non-violent offenses might pass. Okay? That's a question that I've had for a while is this normal? Was Molly using somebody else's DoorDash account? What is DoorDash's policy? So I wanted to put that out there quickly. Now, here is a video at 3:51 of the DoorDash driver. And look, we've broken that down. We have broken that film down a million times. So the point of me showing that is to not just show you Molly walking, right, with her cell phone apparently lost. But what I do think is interesting is that if you look at this tab that I have shared, let me get my mouse up here. So Molly drives in, and if you follow my cursor, she goes up here, she parks, gets out of her car. Okay, this is present day, so the house is gone. But I cannot be the only one that thinks you, and people will say, oh, the map on DoorDash was wrong and all that stuff. But in my opinion, she's not looking at any addresses. She's not looking at any house. She's looking at her phone, and you can say, oh, well, it's showing her where to walk. But I'm like, wouldn't you be like trying to find the numbers? And we've all seen the pictures of 1122. It's got a spotlight on it. It's right in the front, and it's above any car level. It's the only door that you would see pretty much from this corner to when you get behind 1112, right? So that's always been a little bit strange to me, is that she parks up here, walks all the way down, doesn't see 1122, walks here, doesn't seem to be trying to see 1112, and then just turns around. Finds it perfectly then. Clearly realizes she's gone too far. She walked right past it, blah, blah, blah. Again, nothing new. But I just want to give a bird's eye view of what Molly is doing. Now, this might be hard for people to watch. This is from Gray Hughes. Again, I don't have any relationship with this guy. I just know that he'll talk shit in the comments, which is fine. He did do a pretty genius thing. I have to give him credit, where he overlaid the nighttime with daytime, and it brightened up this video of Molly. I'll go ahead and play this. So it's the same time frame, 3:51.
And then look, she's going to be standing right there, right on the other side of that car, probably leans against the car. I mean, isn't that wild how you can see that now? Look at that. And that's 100 times more clear what the hell's happening.
It really is.
And then she walks back that way. That's her phone, the light, probably a flashlight on the end of the phone.
But again, it's like, what is she looking for the flashlight? Like why would she have her flashlight on? You could say, oh, she's looking at her feet. Why is it that people make up so many excuses, but they don't think of the excuse that, oh, they're going to, just like they do with every car and every person that's important, redact it. So rather than just blurring it out when they say this is somebody that's so innocent, why is it a stretch to say, of course they're going to shine a bright light and they're just going to say, oh, it looks like it's coming from her phone? You can think it's a stretch all day. I don't care. This seems weird to me, that no matter what lighting you put it in, negative, regular, no matter what filter, the face is covered. You don't see one license plate. You put any of the cars, they disappear. They're blurry. They're gone. They're gone. And I'll play this one more time.
And then look, she's going to be standing right there, right on the other side of that car, probably leans against the car. I mean, isn't that wild how you can see that now? Look at that. And that's 100 times more clear what the hell's happening.
Just look at the timing.
And then she walks back that way. That's her phone, the light, probably a flashlight on the end of the phone.
Okay. Again, this is not the bombshell. I'm just going through the progression. So 3:51, Molly's lost. Now, let me ask everybody here. Was there any other food delivered to 1122 that night? Okay. Serious question. Outside of Jack in the Box, was there another food delivery car that we see, were there rumors about another restaurant that delivers food at the house? Yes, it's the pizza. Look at that. The chat's on it. Pizza. Yep. Pizza. Domino's. Okay. This is where your ears need to perk up, because I can't give enough credit to Sleuth Dare. The screenshots and with Luna talking me through this today, explaining the progression, it's just wonderfully, there's just wonderful records kept, and it's awesome. So now, if you look at this, the pizza box, that's Domino's, that's set right on the top. And you see Domino's. Now, this is nothing groundbreaking. People have heard rumors about Domino's pizza. But now we have the Venmo history. There are screenshots, which another person that I have to give a shout out to is Conspiracy, which is an epic name for a channel. I'm going to go ahead and play this video because this will explain it. It's 3 minutes, and make sure you guys go and subscribe to Conspiracy. Give it a like. This was posted 3 years ago. It's only got 4.8 thousand views, which is mind blowing, because when you think back to, again, was there another food delivery that could potentially prove a timeline wrong? Let's look at this.
On November 13th, 4 University of Idaho students were found deceased in their off-campus home after being stabbed with a knife. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you caught my last video, I was talking about how there are now 3 separate Jacks. So we're going to go over some Venmo transactions. So first, the first Jack D is actually Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. They have been dating for quite some time, off and on. Kaylee's family thinks very highly of Jack and says that eventually Jack and Kaylee would have been married. He is the only person that has been officially cleared by law enforcement. So next we have Jake S., which was Maddie's current boyfriend. Last we have Jack S. from the food truck video. Law enforcement says he's not a suspect either. But now we have a third Jack coming into play. The third Jack was discovered through Venmo transactions. So as always, I wanted to check into this myself. So I looked at all of the victims' Venmos. First, we're going to go over Kaylee's. Now, Kaylee's most recent transaction was from Ethan Chapin, who was also one of the victims. So on November 12th at 1:59 p.m., Ethan sent Kaylee money. We don't know exactly what for, but it just says a note of thank you. This was the day before they were all discovered. Then on November 12th at 2:10 p.m., he sent her money again, this time with a note saying, yeah. So now we're going to take a look at Ethan's most recent transactions. So this is now where a Jack K comes into play. So on November 12th at 11:40 p.m., Ethan sends Jack money with a note saying thanks. Now, this is not to say that this Jack person has anything to do with the 4 victims. It's just now a third Jack that has come to light and that people are talking about. So I wanted to show you where the third Jack is coming from. If we take a look at Maddie's Venmo transactions, they're pretty normal. I didn't see one to the Jake on hers, but on November 12th at 1:33 p.m., Madison sends Kaylee money for coffee. The rest of Madison's transactions appear to be pretty normal. Then if we go look at Xana's, hers are pretty normal as well. Transactions back and forth between Ethan, her boyfriend, the other roommates and friends, nothing to any Jack. And that is not to say that boyfriends, hers are pretty normal as well. Transactions back and forth between Ethan, her
Right there. Domino's.
boyfriend, the other roommates and friends, nothing to any Jack. And that is not to say that this Jack has anything to do with this, just that there are now 3 Jacks being talked about, and so that you know which one is which. So we have Jack, Kaylee's ex-boyfriend, who is not a suspect, Jake, who was Maddie's current boyfriend, Jack from the food truck video, also not a suspect, and now Jack from the Venmo transactions. We also know that the 911 call came from one of the roommates' cell phones, but law enforcement previously stated that it was not one of the roommates who called. They are also not suspects at this time. But law enforcement.
Listen to this part. This is why, again, I give so much love to Christie's Chaos, and then also, again, Sluther Dare, Luna Bliss, everybody that's in the hive that is, had the wherewithal and just they knew to screenshot stuff. Listen back to how important this is. This is incredible. I remember hearing this too. The 911 call did not come from the roommate's phone.
Also know that the 911 call came from one of the roommates' cell phones, but law enforcement previously stated that it was not one of the roommates who called. They are also not suspects at this time. Thank you so much for watching.
So, just an epic video by Conspiracy. Again, here is their channel right here. Make sure you guys go subscribe and hit like on that. I cannot believe that that video does not have more views. So you look at the Venmo. I mean, she got that 3 years ago. You could see Domino's. You can see the Domino's in the trash can. Okay. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So there we go. So now when we continue on, it's like, all right, well, that's interesting because it doesn't seem like it was just Jack in the Box. We have Domino's. We have Venmo transactions. We see a Domino's box. I just showed you Conspiracy's video. Well, this is apparently Domino's Pizza showing up at 1 a.m. I showed Dylan's interview where Dylan apparently doesn't remember when Ethan and Xana get home. Going back to right now, I'm going to play this from the beginning because this is important. This is why I said I'm going to tell the story. Okay? It's going to progress. Now, listen to this. Listen to the time of 1 or 1:30, maybe 1:15, and then we have Domino's and a Venmo and a Domino's box in the garbage. Physical evidence that you can see that people screen grabbed when their Venmo was public.
Hey guys, we get home. No one is home, so we go upstairs. The house is kind of a mess, obviously, because we just had that party Friday. Saturday, we were drinking, whatever.
What time is this so you go home?
Oh, let me check again. I don't know if I fully have a photo.
What do you call the freshmen that stay sober?
Sobros.
Sobros.
Yeah. So it was definitely after 1 because I have a video of dancing at 1. So I guess at first I thought it was 1, but it could have been 1:30. I don't know. I was intoxicated. I don't fully remember. I'm gonna say around 1:15. At first I thought it was.
So again, a very important detail. What time? This is the pattern. What time, Dylan? I don't know. 1:30, could have been 1:15. Were Xana and Ethan home? Well, their door was open. I could see that. I don't remember. Right? There's a pattern in her speech. You can hear it for yourselves. Whether you interpret it the way that I do, I would argue it's a valid interpretation. You can listen. I would say that if you surveyed people, how many people think she's going to say this? How many people think that it's weird? She doesn't remember any specific time, any specific detail.
So it was definitely after 1 because I have a video of dancing at 1. So I guess at first I thought it was 1, but it could have been 1:30. I don't know. I was intoxicated. I don't fully remember. I'm gonna say around 1:15 to 1:30ish. That could be wrong.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that was at 3:10. I thought it was earlier. I didn't know that.
Before we go further, you said when you got home with, you said no one was home.
No one was home.
You even went upstairs.
No, I never went upstairs.
Oh.
But because Kaylee and Maddie came home later, that's how I knew they were not there that time.
So what about Ethan and Xana?
Their door was open. I could see that. I could tell they were not home.
Their door was open at that point.
Yes, sorry, I can't fully remember. I don't know for sure if their door was open or not, but I believe they were not there. I mean, maybe they were, but at the moment.
Maybe they were. I don't know. At that moment, I was drunk. I was intoxicated. Okay. This is what people have said, and I agree, at 102, right in that same time frame. Domino's Pizza, and let's watch the entire progression. Car park, you'll see it. Sorry if my big old head was in the way. Here we go. And there, the Domino's driver is leaving. All within 2 minutes. That is what you would expect a food delivery to look like. Now, here is what is interesting. I went back onto Moscow Domino Pizza on their Instagram. This is up as of 2 days ago. And you can see that in July and September and August of 2021 and 2022, they say, exciting news. This is July 14th, 2022. Exciting news. We are returning to our normal summer hours from 10 to midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and 10 to 1, Friday and Saturday. You can get your food delivered. Here they are at orientation, trying to find drivers. It says now hiring drivers. This is Domino's. This is an employee. That's why I blurred their face out, but it is in the tagged photos of Moscow Domino's Pizza. So in that summer, right before school starts, they start delivering pizza again. Now, let's really buckle up for this. Let's wrap our heads around this. This is Isaac Segota. Okay, this is all public information. I want this to be known that this is public information. All right. Let me throw the banner up on the screen here. And Isaac is a delivery driver at Domino's, March 1st through 2022 to present. Okay. Domino's Pizza, delivery driver. It would be rather weird if a Domino's driver and a DoorDash driver in the same night that there was a quadruple homicide had some sort of connection. Am I right? Well, what if it was Molly's son? What if Molly's son, who you see right here, is the delivery driver at Domino's Pizza, March 1st, 2022 to present, and who is listed under Isaac's family members as their mother? Now, that certainly, in addition to everything else, cannot just be a coincidence. I know that that's not a coincidence. And I swear to God, if Isaac drives a freaking Elantra, I will shit a golden chicken. Okay, so Molly's son is a Domino's driver. Domino's is hiring. We see it at 1. We see the Venmo transactions for Domino's. We see a Domino's pizza box. Dylan says, I'm not sure when they got home. She's drunk. She can't remember anything. Molly, whenever she's walking around, what is she looking for? And then you come to find out that given the circumstances when Molly's body cam became public, she's talking about Brian Koberger. Well, what are the chances that a guy who works at Domino's as a delivery driver is her son? What are the chances that there's a Domino's pizza box sitting on the top of the garbage can? What are the chances that there's a Venmo transaction for Domino's? What are the chances that the DoorDash driver being Molly makes no damn sense anyways? I don't get any credit for this. This is all Sleuth or Dare. Please show Sleuth or Dare some love in the chat, as well as Luna for getting me these screenshots. That's why I was late. I needed the visuals tonight to show this. So, tip of the cap to you, Sleuth or Dare. Incredible work. It could even get crazier. I just, quite frankly, I wanted to keep this part simple to understand because I didn't want it to end up looking like the meme from wherever. I'll just show you guys the meme. I didn't want to end up looking like this. And it's not that I couldn't follow Sleuth or Dare's work. It would have been a lot, because if you think that this is granular, you should see the work that Sleuth or Dare has put in on this. But that's kind of what if I didn't have the time to explain it, that's what it would seem like. And I did not want to do that any disservice. So Sleuth or Dare, I hope that I did this enough justice to wake people up that it's like, hang on, Domino's pizza box, Domino's Venmo, Molly's sus, her son's a Domino's driver. Molly makes no sense. Unbelievable. And just great job. Seriously, it blew my mind. So now, this is what I get excited about. Don't get me wrong, I get excited about that too. What I get excited about is, dude, how different does the timeline look if Molly's son is there 2 hours before her? Tell me that can't change the entire concept of people that were there. What about people that were dropped off? What if Molly's son dropped off some of Molly's friends? Waited, stalked them. You hear multiple doors shut. Okay, so let's go back now. Let's listen to the car park and tell me that you hear more than one door open and shut, as if there's multiple people getting in and out. You see multiple shadows. Molly's son dropping off a Domino's pizza. What if it's Molly's friends? What if Molly, in this video that we see her wandering around, is not lost, but rather she was supposed to pick somebody or something up, and they weren't up in the back of the house by the time the murders were supposed to be committed? And she's like, where the hell are they? Molly shows up. It's all food delivery. It's a food. They got away with it with a food delivery cover, potentially. So again, I'm gonna have you guys listen to the Domino's pizza. Now, if this is Molly's son, listen to how many doors shut in the car park footage. I have this turned all the way up. I would recommend you turn your volume up too. Right now it's muted. So here we go. Dude, you hear 3 car doors shut and you see 3 people's shadows walk right by. Okay, you can follow the car in from 1112 all the way to the car park and all the way out. You can follow that. There are 3 car doors that shut. Now, people will say, okay, how about this? If I was doing this, and I don't like to go to this place mentally, all right? But sometimes you have to if you're going to theorize. If I was doing this, if I was going to go and commit this crime, I would have the pizza, which, by the way, how perfect is it that they only deliver until 1? You close up shop. You take the last pizza out. Hey, boss, I got the last one. See you tomorrow. You don't got to come back. They deliver until 1. 3 minutes after they close. Okay? This is happening. Now, people are going to say that, and this is again why I said I don't want to go to this place. If I was doing this, you hear either a door open and a trunk pop. Maybe they keep the pizza in the trunk. I don't know. Wherever they keep it, you hear one door open. Then there's a pause. You hear a door shut, and then you hear 2 other doors shut. So if I was doing this, and I'm the front man as a pizza guy, and I have 2 other people that are going to go do this shit, I'm getting out first, and I'm going to drop the pizza. That doesn't mean that they run in there like a bat out of hell. No. When I walk back, I'm getting into the car, and the 2 people that are either going to stalk it out will then leave the car. So you hear me getting back in, 1. Then you hear 2 other people get out and close. They're watching the house. Molly shows up and is all confused looking around. This is a theory. This is a theory, but I don't believe, and that's why I gave such big props to Sleuth or Dare. But if you listen to this, I believe that you can play this out mentally. It's the last delivery. They close at 1:02. Somebody shows up. Do they drop a pizza off? Well, that would have to mean that Xana and Ethan are home. Well, how would we know if they're home? Well, why don't we talk to the star witness? Oh, I can't remember. I'm drunk. I mean, their door was open. I could see them. They weren't there. Actually, I don't know. What time was that at? 1:30, 1:15. Oh, I'm sure that's a coincidence. And then the mother, potentially, allegedly, of said Domino's driver shows up 2 hours later. Is this the drop-off of the people that are essentially staking the house out? Maybe. Why do you hear so many doors shut? Can anybody else explain that? This is a delivery driver. There's supposed to be one guy in the car. You see it enter, you see it park, you hear 3 doors, and then you see it leave within 2 minutes. So let's watch this again. There's the driver. Driver gets in. 1. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, So maybe there was 3 people in the car. Now that guy takes off. And there it leaves. So you see the entire progression. Now, if you look at when you hear that door shut, okay, you can see the top part of the car. If you look at this, if they pull up here, okay, we know that you can pull right about here. That's where we're seeing the lights. Okay, somewhere in this area. We know how close this is. It takes approximately 1 minute and 20 seconds for them to go and drop a pizza off and get back. As a reminder, if you were to draw just a 300-foot radius, 300 feet goes into the band field and encompasses all of this. That's how tightly packed it is. So after showing that, knowing that they were hiring for drivers, knowing that this guy named Isaac has his mother listed as Molly, how different does the domino sound? And then how different does Molly look when she shows up? One's in the chat if you're following what I'm saying, and one's if you believe that this makes the timeline, the official timeline, have a real wrinkle in it, a real change of pace and narrative, when it's like, we just saw 3 people get out. We see their shadows. Was it a driver and 3 people that got out of the Domino's car? Was Molly supposed to pick them up? How do we know that this is all allegedly, how do we know that Molly's son didn't drop off 3 perpetrators that were watching the house, making sure that everybody was home? Then when it was done, Molly didn't have a DoorDash, both delivery drivers, and rather than Molly being lost, and you can say, well, Bertie, Xana placed it. Well, I think a lot of people have proven you can change somebody's profile on DoorDash. You can make your profile say somebody else's name rather easily. So, yeah, 3 killers got dropped off 2 hours earlier. They were stalking the house. They waited for their moment. They went in. I could believe a timeline with 3 people of 7 to 8 minutes if there's a gun and a knife. Molly shows up right on cue. Molly doesn't see them. Molly's probably up there in the back waiting for them to get in, saying, where the hell are they? And is looking around. Did they run off? Where are they not here? So the timeline of all of this stuff, and I see that shit. What if they got dropped off? I don't know. I'm just trying to say that Sleuth or Dare deserves so much credit to that theory and that digging, because it blew my mind. I mean, guys, you're looking at it right here. This guy's got Molly listed as his mom, and he worked as a Domino's driver. And there's a Domino's Venmo. There's a Domino's pizza box. It's within 2.5, 3 hours. It makes your head spin. But to me, if we want to not argue a 4 a.m. versus a 2 a.m. timeline, in a effed up way, this could potentially combine both of them. They get dropped off at 1, the last delivery of the pizza. 3 guys get out. They wait till Maddie and Kaylee get home, which is 2. 2 a.m.'s a dark hour. They either go in or they're watching. Maybe 2 a.m. is a dark hour because when the girls got home, that's when it was on. They were waiting for everybody to get settled in, everybody to be in the house. 2 a.m. a dark hour, everybody's home. The 4 a.m. timeline was somebody speaking. I don't know. But this is, in my opinion, this is a huge breakthrough. So, Hive, I'm going to read these super chats. Again, thank you to Johnny All Red for the big super chat. Lala for the super chat. Cindy Martin says, why haven't we heard anything from BK's dad? I read this earlier. BBs, thank you as well from earlier. Christine Clemen says, Molly brought Molly to the party. Who knows, right? But I just wonder if she was supposed to pick somebody up and they weren't there. That's why she's lost. Edie says, didn't all the screams and commotion happen between 3 and 4? Molly's just wandering around in the street in the backyard. Yeah, right. Okay. It kind of, if you line up the screams with when Molly shows up, what if Molly was there to pick somebody up? Again, DoorDash profile being changed to somebody in the house is a cover. Nobody questions delivery drivers. Sue's W says, I've always said it was weird that Molly says that she has to testify against Brian and, quote, not the guy who killed those kids. It sounded too personal. The whole I saw Brian thing is still weird to me. I agree. Wise Lady Young Mind says, all of you are onto something big. Again, I take zero credit for that. I feel honored that I could present that. I hope that I did it justice. I hope that was easy to understand. I try to have as many visuals. Again, shout out to Slither Dare and Luna and everybody that's contributed to stuff. I mean, this has been something that's been talked about, being the Domino's box for a very long time. It's incredible. Just Me says 5 people in laundry room, one resembling Jack, another Kaylee. Does that mean earlier at like 12 when you see people get dropped off in the car park? So, Hive, before I sign off, please, one more time, give a ton of love to Sluther Dare. And Luna was extremely selfless helping me today. We were on the phone for 2 hours trying to get this ready. I want everybody to know in the Hive, like, I appreciate you guys. This is important stuff. I hope people take this, they look into it. I think it's incredible. So I hope everybody has a great rest of their evening, a safe rest of their evening. Tomorrow is Saturday. I will be on sometime before noon streaming. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Any ideas that sprouted off of this, and we will go over those tomorrow in the chat. Have a great night, everybody. Cheers.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.